Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Today we are going to talk about Maya Angelou's novel I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. Let's start with a poem, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dot, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with shades of deeper meaning. From I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. American poetess and civil rights activist Maya Angelou is a powerful and all-familiar name, written in fire and spirit. Yeah, you can imagine that. You can perceive that from the very beginning poetry. But still, like dust, I'll rise. What a wonderful motivation, you can say. How strong positivity. Now, she is a writer and feminist of Afro-American ethnicity. She wrote 7 autobiographies, 3 books of poetry and several plays. She also participated in television shows. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is her first memoir of the series of 7, which chronicles her early life from the age 3 to 16 or 17. Now there are total 7 memoirs that she wrote on her own life, and they are the first one we are going to read, that is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. Okay, it was published in 1969 and it actually covers the period of her life from her very early age to her age 16 or 17, that is 1944 till 1944. Okay, now the next, that is Gather Together in My Name. Her next memoir was Gather Together in My Name, and that was published in 1974, and it chronicles her life from 1945 to 48. It was the first one was till 1944 and the next one was 1945 to 48. The next one, that was her third memoir. It was singing, but he missed the G and there is an apostrophe, and singing and swinging and getting merry like Christmas. It was published in 1976 and it chronicles her life from 1949 to 55. Okay. Her next memoir was The Heart of a Woman. The Heart of a Woman. It chronicles her life from 1957 to 62. Next, number 5 is All God's Children Need Traveling. Yeah, all God's children need traveling, not traveling. of course, for traveling shows. It was published in 1986 and it chronicles a life from 1962 to 65. Now, number 6 is a song flung off to heaven. A song flung off to heaven, that was published in 2002 and it chronicles a life from 1965 onward 68. And number 7, Mom and Me and Mom. It was published in 2013 and it is a synopsis of our life's experience, you can say, an overall view, you can say, about our whole life, an overview of our life. So these are the 7 novels that captures her own life in different phases. And today we are going to read about or talk about the first one, that is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. Now this book is an honest sketch of Maya's tumultuous childhood, the then racial aggression. And at the very beginning of the novel, in the very first chapter, you will find that Maya's wistful mind that she wants to be a white girl, so everyone will love her and adore her. But in the Easter days, she was wearing a dress. What type of dress? But Easter's early morning sun had shown the dress to be a plain, ugly cut down from a white woman's once was purple throwaway. Maya has fantasy over the dress, that she will look beautiful in that dress and people will come and call him dear Margaret, and they will try to make friendship with her and they will talk with her generously, asking for her forgiveness. But actually, Easter's early morning sun had shown the dress to be plain, ugly cut down from a white woman's once was purple throwaway. It was old lady long too, but it did not hide my skinny legs, which had been greased with blue silk vaseline. I also use blue silk vaseline, and powdered with the Arkansas red clay. The age-faded color made my skin look dirty like mud, and everyone in church was looking at my skinny legs. So that was the reality of her life that she faced at the very beginning of her life and expressed her concern with us. Now, an autobiography depicts one's journey and readers get acquainted with the same track of experience. So we also go along with Maya's feeling, Maya's experience in her life being a black girl. All the same humiliation, shaming, all she experienced. We also go along with Maya in that experience through her first memoir, that is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. Now this book is a proof of her inner strength and her development through her continuous clash with society. Not with society, people and racial bigotry. Being a woman, being a girl, she has to face multiple oppression in that society, white dominated society. And you will find in that novel that again and again her wistful mind wanted to do something against that white. Sometimes in her childhood fancy she wished to be changed into a white girl in a beautiful dress welcomed by everyone. And again when the white doctor refused to treat Maya being a black girl, she just imagined that her grandmother is threatening that white doctor. So these are all from her imagination and all her wistful mind that she wants to be equal with the white society, and she did not like that behavior, that scrupulous, hateful humiliation, full of humiliation towards Maya by the white society, shamed by the white society. Those things she did not like, and she cannot accept. No one can accept. Now have a look at the story or the thematic plot, the line. The book opens with a bitter memory of Maya not being able to recite the Easter poem in church and her consequent harassment. The entire plot flows in flashback style. After their parents' divorce, 3 years Maya and her 4-year-old brother Bailey come to live in a small country town in Stam. So the story starts with here. In Stam's, Maya and her brother Bailey come to live in a small country in Stam in her maternal uncle's house in Arkansas. The place is in Arkansas. With their paternal grandmother, not maternal, paternal grandmother, who is Mamma Henderson. So Mamma Henderson has great influence in Angelou's life, Maya's life, and she was everything for her childhood. Mama ran a store of fried meat, peas, lemonade, canned fish, etc. type of grocery shop, and in the African American part of the country, with the help of her disabled son Willie. So Willie was Maya's uncle, but she was disabled. The gnawing pain of being not loved haunts Maya from her childhood. But her relationship with her brother Bailey was very tight. They shared their suffering and every triviality of life with one another. So Maya and her brother, they were thrown away by their parents, and they had to live at a very early age, not with their parents but with their paternal grandmother. In Stamps, those two kids were gradually building their ground and life under Mama's care and observation. But their father came to take them. So Maya and Bailey went to St. Louis to live with their mother again. Now their mother is Vivian. So Vivian was the name of the mother, and she was very attractive and clever woman whose troop of admirers always hung around her. And in that list there was a person who was Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman was one of the admirers of Maya's mothers, and they always hang around her. And in that list, Mr. Freeman was a bold name. Though the relationship with her mother was not so easy and comfortable, yet she was gradually getting adjusted to her way. So Maya was gradually getting adjusted with her mother. Now the fatal thing happened when Mr. Freeman took the chance of Maya. She was abused and raped by Mr. Freeman. So it was the most severe and vicious experience of Maya's life at a very early age. Consequently, Mr. Freeman was murdered by Maya's uncle. The shock and confusion led Maya to a traumatic state, and she became speechless. This abusive incident and its vicious effect changed Maya's life and perspective. Now what happened? Later Maya and Bailey were again sent back to Stam. So they are sent back to St. Louis, and from St. Louis they started living with their mother, tried to adjust with her mother's colorful life. But the shock Maya received there by Mr. Freeman, it was such a cruel, heinous violence that again Maya was sent back to Stamp, and Maya was speechless. Now, there through the help of Mrs. Bertha Flowers, one of her teachers, she entered in the world of books and gradually overcame her trauma. She made some friends and started doing good in her class. She and Bailey became book lovers and found all their comfort in the pages of books. Her love for poetry also flourished then. In chapter 22, there is a beautiful scene of reading. I like this scene very much, and I feel that I am joining them actually. Everyone was engrossed in reading when someone knocked on the door. Uncle summoned Bailey back from Huckfin. This line I like much. Uncle summoned Bailey back from Huckfin to unlatch the vault, and then Bailey still sat doubled over his book, a black hunchbacked Naomi, a finger forerunnning his eyes along with the pages. This description of reading, Bailey is reading doubled over his book, and that description that uncle is summoning Bailey back from Huckfin, that Bailey is so much absorbed in this reading the story of Huckleberry Finn. Sometimes it happens with our life also. We started reading a very interesting novel or any literary piece, and someone calls, oh my god, it is so irritable, that you have to just snatch your attention from that pages. You are so engrossed in those characters and scenarios, and then you have to do something else, very disastrous. Now, eventually, Maya witnessed a direct example of racism. So, what was a direct example of racism when she went to a white doctor? Okay, I told you this story. I just mentioned the story that she get tremendous toothache, and she, along with her grandmother, went to the doctor. But doctor was white doctor, and he did not want to treat Maya because he did not want to treat a black girl. So a doctor is don't want to treat, refusing the patient for being black. So that was the fatal bigotry, color discrimination, racism. The crude visage of racism is very clearly, very shockingly described here. So now these incidents taught her to become stronger and more determined. She even found that the white women are crowded her grandmother's shop, and they bought their necessary things, but they abuses mama, and they treated them as very, not as like human being. And due to the rising danger of racism even experienced by Bailey, and this experience also traumatized Bailey's life, and mama get afraid and send them to their parents in California. So again from Stam they are going to California. And from there, the children went to San Francisco to live with their mother. From California to San Francisco. So, Maya's life and also Bailey's life was full of traveling, journeying from one place to another. Not settlement. The childhood is just like a strayed creature from one place to another. They are not getting their proper route anywhere. Then Maya gradually unfolded her passion for drama, dance and literature. She blossomed into a talented woman. Maya later went to stay with her dad's girlfriend, Dolores, in Southern California. But their relationship was ended in a physical encounter, and Maya's eavesdropping for a month as a homeless kid. There is a scene that Maya is running, and also Dolores is running behind her with something to hit her, and Maya's father has come at their rescue. So she did not want her mother to find the bitter truth about her father's girlfriend. And living with a group of abandoned runners, she experienced a new life that changed her a lot. She gained self-reliance and confidence during this hard time of her life. Finally, she joined her mother in San Francisco. She searched for a job, and at the time there was few opportunities for colored people because colored people were detested, they are abhorred, and they are avoided. But Maya was indomitable. She got a job and also continued her study. To get rid of the desperation that she felt for herself, that she was a lesbian or she is not sexually demandable, she provoked and slept with an attractive boy. But the immaturity led to unprepared pregnancy. Now, at the end of the fiction, I find that Maya graduated and gave birth to her son, who is Guy, whose name is Guy. And that was very wonderful scene where Maya is feeling that motherhood inside of her. The scene Maya giving birth to a kid, and her motherly feelings are wonderfully and emotional and touching, and she is so happy. Okay, now there are major characters. Have a look at that. Margaret or Maya Johnson. She is a narrator and the key voice. Margaret, Maya Johnson, is a tall, vibrant girl whose parents are divorced. She used to live with her paternal grandmother at Stamps, Arkansas. She is inclined to read literature. So this is the central character. Now number 2, Bailey Johnson is Maya's older brother. He also has the same kind of book addiction. He protected and cheered Maya during her own situation. But she also fell in a relationship with a very older girl, and that Maya described very humorously. Mama Henderson, Maya's grandmother, she ran a general store. And there are other characters like Daddy Bailey, that is Maya's father. He is handsome, outgoing, and at the same time conceited. All these characters are described here are shown from the point of view of Maya and how Maya look at them. Vivian Baxter, that is Maya's mother, Uncle Willie, Grandfather Baxter and Grandmother Baxter, Baxter uncles, Mr. Freeman, who rapes Maya, Vivian's lover, her mother's lover, who rapes her, Mrs. Flower, she was Maya's teacher, who had great influence on Maya, Tommy Walden, Maya's first male admirer, and Joyce is Bailey's lover in their teenage, about whom I was talking. Older girl, but she is so experienced in manipulating Bailey to steal something from Mama Henderson's shop, and Bailey used to give those things to Joyce, those costly things, and they do love her. And she used to seduce Bailey with her precocious manners and got the stolen sausage and canned salmon from Mama's store. Later she married a railroad porter. Oh, she is matured enough to do that. Now, with that we will finish, and in our next video, in part 2, we will talk about the other features of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing. Okay. Thank you.